welcome to the first ever Ugly Finder podcast hosted by Jeremy Ortiz and soundboarded by George Ontiveros. We have never done this before, so it should be fun. It's the first podcast I've ever done. It's the second podcast George has ever engineered, if I'm not mistaken. So it should be a great time. So the first podcast that we're going to do really is going to zone in on the beginnings of adult baseball here in Northwest Indiana, especially around the Northwest Indiana NABA Association, tying into our founder, Steve Carpenter. I've reached out to a bunch of folks to see who was available for this podcast, and I got our panel of four right now who have been around the league for quite a long time. Three of the four panelists today actually have been around the league since implementation. With me from implementation of the league, the start of the league, first year 2003, we have Darian Moore, we have Ryan Aguiano, and Rich Hassel. And with us as a special guest, we have Will Leitner. So, it should be fun. I'm a little nervous, I'm a little excited, looking to get something out into the open and promote this league a little bit more and get us really growing from a social media standpoint and from a marketing standpoint. So, with all that said, let's get started. So, 2003, you guys get a phone call, an email, a text message. How did you guys find out that there was a baseball league happening?
Well, 2003, you had to read the newspaper.
That's true. Yeah, email, text message. What am I talking about?
But I saw the ad in the Times on whatever the briefs or whatever, and I called the number, and I don't know. I remember walking down Steve Carpenter's driveway into his garage.
Nice.
And that's where I saw, and that's where it all started.
Did he have like a table set up, like Little League, where you sign your name?
Yes, he did. He had a Little League team. I don't remember who else was there. I think there was 2 or 3 other people that were there.
That's where all the first managers meetings were. It was held at Steve Carpenter's garage.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that was my first, I had played softball for, 10 years before that, ever since graduating high school and stuff, and then going back to baseball, I never went back.
Nice. Was it the same way for you guys when you guys found out about the league through the Times, or was it word of mouth? Did Buddy get a hold of you?
Well, with me, I was playing softball at the time too, and my buddy brought the newspaper in. We was playing basketball at a adult recreation. He said, Darian, we can go play baseball, 30 and over. Well, okay, but nobody did it except me. So I was one of the first ones.
The Lone Ranger, huh?
Yeah, I was one of the first ones to call Steve and ask about it. He said, well, we're putting it together, so I'll give you a call back. So I waited 2 weeks, called him again. Another 2 weeks, called him again. He was like, I'm not going to forget you. Trust me, I'm going to call you. I said, no, I want to play baseball. So I called him the next week. His wife answered, Jill. She's like, I let him know that you called. And every time he's like, man, are you going to stop calling me? He said, I ain't forgot about you. I'm going to call you. He ended up calling me and set up a meeting at right off of Indianapolis Boulevard. It was at a hotel.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Banquet room.
Okay.
And that's how
Yours was a little different than his first meeting. His had the garage.
Yeah.
You were at a
I was
hotel.
at the hotel, yeah.
I was a little apprehensive.
It
It wasn't Huntsville.
It wasn't. How about for you, Rich? Were you in the same boat as Ryan, or?
I was playing softball and slow pitch in Highland and coaching at Woodmar Baseball at Hammond. And my assistant coach at the time said, man, it'd be nice if we could find ourselves a baseball league to play in. Because we were both playing softball. And like Ryan, I saw the same ad in the Times in the sports section, and I ended up calling the number, and I talked to Steve's wife, Jill, because Steve was at work, and she says, I'll have him call you back. And I let my assistant coach know, hey, I think I found us a baseball league. Oh, man, I was just kidding about that. So he cut bait from the get-go. And Steve eventually called me back. We probably talked on the phone for, I don't know, a good hour or so, because he just thought he could start up a league and take the teams onto any baseball field in Hammond, any youth field. I told him, Steve, all these youth leagues, they're all locked up now. He's like, well, it's a public park. I said, well, I understand it's a public park, Steve, but if you want nice fields, you got to have them locked up. So I told him, here's who you need to contact from the park department at the Civic Center, you know, and like Darian, I think that's the first time I met Darian was at that meeting at that hotel on the boulevard right off 8094. You know, he had a brief, 20-minute to half-hour meeting, you know, just kind of went from there.
Nice. Nice. So what was the month? What was the kickoff meeting month? I'd be interested to know because it was.
It had to be the winter of 03 because we didn't start playing until the summer of 04.
So the original date of like implementation or put together was in December, call it, of 2003.
Right.
Big meeting. How many people showed up to the meeting? Do you guys remember?
There's me, Darian, and Jay Vasquez.
Yeah.
That was three.
The three of us at the meeting at the hotel.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That's interesting. 3 people to show up. So do you think Steve was nervous after that meeting with the amount of people that showed up, or was he pretty confident because he had a good pool of numbers? Or
He was nervous because
I think he was nervous also.
because he couldn't get nobody to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he had that open tryout at Dowling
The
Park.
yeah.
And I kid you not, there would be enough guys there to have like at least 4 or 5 teams. You know, but it was just so disorganized. The first thing I thought after being there for an hour, this is not going to get off the floor.
Right.
And I left.
really?
And I never thought I'd hear from Steve again. He called me, I forget how much later. He says, all right, you've been assigned to the Red Sox. And then like a couple of days later, no, you've been moved over to the Marlins.
Me too.
Yeah, because only enough guys from that tryout stuck around to form 2 teams. Even though there was well more than 2 teams.
So interest was there, organization, first time doing something was lacking, of course, but that's how any league starts, right?
Right.
So now we're moving, and that's probably spring, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And you guys played your first season with Headwish.
Yeah,
correct.
Yep.
So then from there, how'd that season go? So what were the teams like? You had 2 teams. You had the Marlins and the Red Sox. Who was the managers of those teams back then?
The Red Sox was Gio, I believe.
No, I thought his last name was like Forsythe or something.
Yeah.
A big husky.
It might have been.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
For the Marlins.
Just about 21 years ago, right?
Yeah.
It's 21 years ago to date. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. But
For the Marlins, there was a crazy
Joe
character named Joe
DiFiore.
DiFiore. He was the first, I don't know how you want to describe him, you know.
Then he smoked cigars.
Oh, yeah. First character of the NABA, you know, he was something else, you know. Most of you guys should be happy you never were around.
Yeah.
really?
I played against him.
Yeah.
You played against him?
My first
How
year.
long was he in the league for?
He lasted five
Yeah.
years. He lives in Hessville. He'll occasionally walk by the park if there's a game going on Sunday.
It's not bad.
Really?
I'll be sitting there, I'll hear, Mr. Asshole. I don't even have to see the face. I know who it is. It's Joel walking by.
Yeah.
That's great.
Sometimes I'll run into him at Wicker.
Yes.
He'll be walking.
Yes.
Yeah, he walk around.
He walks quite a bit. Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool. So there's 2 teams. You guys go into the season in Headwish. So right now, from my knowledge, and what I've been told is there's only 5 guys from the original 2 teams that are still playing in the league. That's 21 years later, that are still playing baseball on the same foundation, same platform that Steve kind of set up in the very, very beginning of just going out having fun. I mean, it's probably become more competitive over the years because more guys get involved, and when you have more people, more minds, more competition. But the 5 that I have that I've been told, so we have Miguel and Gio de Jesus. Those are the only 2 that aren't here, but they played as well, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
What teams were they on? Were they on the Red Sox, Marlins?
They were on the Red Sox
With him.
With you? Awesome. With Rat. So you had 3 of the 5 originals were Red Sox. The other 2 were Marlins.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Who was the better team?
All
Marlins.
Marlins.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, we had Team Spirit, which
it counts. You get team.
yeah, the Marlins. Yeah, we're better than us.
Yeah, we had pitching.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who was your dominant pitcher?
Bobby.
Donnie.
No, Bobby Ismail coming in.
No,
second.
Donnie Ward.
Donnie Ward.
Donnie Ward and
He passed away though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Donnie Ward.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember him.
We did fairly well that first season, but we lost because it was a single elimination
Yeah.
tournament for the Headwish
Yeah.
League, and we got bounced out in the second round or third round or whatever it was, you know. But
How many teams did Headwish have back then without the 2?
4, something like that.
Or
So
made us 6.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. different. Baseball was, I guess, young back then here.
Yeah.
Was Crown Point League around at that time?
Steve Carpenter was in Crown Point. From what he told me, he got tired of the drive going to Crown Point. He got disenfranchised with how the league was ran, so he decided, I'm going to start a league of my own, closer to Hammond, obviously, which is where he lived.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Steve's name comes up quite a bit. The whole entire 38 and over division is dedicated to Steve Carpenter. Describe Steve Carpenter to me. Tell me who he was, what he was about. I've never met the guy before. I think I've met his wife once back in Highland when we did a ceremony. I want to say it was almost 10 years ago. But that was the only time I had any interaction with any of the Carpenter family. So tell me about Steve. What was he like?
He was a funny guy.
He was funny.
Yep.
Very nice.
Very nice guy.
I remember him smoking all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his,
So far I got cigarettes and cigars.
Yeah.
and his favorite word was cocksucker.
Yeah.
Did you bleep that out there, George?
His plan, though, if I remember right, was to play on every team in the league. Because first year he was on the Red Sox. The next year he was on, I think he was on the Cubs.
No, he never played for the Cubs.
No, because
Never.
he played with me 1 year on the Marlins when we won a
He
championship.
said, I never put on that jersey.
Yeah.
That's what he told me. He said, I don't see how you could put on that jersey.
Yeah.
The Cubs jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not a Cubs fan, I take it.
No,
He's a Sox fan.
He's a Southside guy. Okay, fair enough.
But very personal, very nice guy. He would do anything. He tried to learn everybody's name in the league, too. He tried to know where everybody was.
That's good.
Yeah.
A real diplomat, huh?
Yeah. Very friendly.
Yeah.
Easy to talk to.
Nice. And then, so he played every year up until 2009 is when he passed away.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Sounds about right. Did he pass away? Did we know? Was he already feeling ill, or was it sudden?
I think it was a recent. He had he didn't know, and then he got diagnosed soon, and then it was like a very fast progression.
Gotcha.
After that.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't know nothing about it because last time I seen him was on the baseball
Yeah.
practice.
I think
So,
the cancer is.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you get those symptoms and you don't want to realize it.
Yep.
He found me at Hessville Park. I was out there mowing the grass in the city, and he said, I've got this cold, I just can't shake it. It's obviously we're in the spring or the early part of the summer or whatever it was. He goes, I think I need to get myself checked out. And like a week later, another guy from the league rolled up back at Hessville Park and goes, man, did you hear Steve has cancer? I'm like, I was floored. I said, he just thought he had like a cold, And then talking with Steve, he went to go get himself checked out. He says, we're taking you straight to the oncology department at Community Hospital. He goes, and you're not going anywhere. We need to start treatments immediately.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah. He was completely, no idea how sick he was.
Wow. Well, I'm glad he created the league that we have today. If it wasn't for Steve, we wouldn't be where we're at. We wouldn't be sitting here around a table doing some modern tech stuff, right?
Right.
Because again, you guys brought up newspapers. We would be writing blurbs in newspapers about the league as opposed to sitting here and having a podcast and really talking about it live and in front of people and promoting where we've been, where we've come from, and how we're going to continue to progress forward. So tell me about, who was the best player in the league the first year? That guy doesn't exist anymore, apparently, in the league, from a league standpoint, unless he's sitting around this table right now. No?
Right?
Who the best player in the league was?
Yeah, the very first, oh man. I
I
can't remember 2 days ago, let alone 26.
we got
You got Donnie.
Donnie, he was good.
Yeah.
Third baseman, good pitcher.
Yeah, he can hit a little for a big guy. Yeah.
George, are we streaming this on Facebook? Did you share a link up there? Or?
Yes, I did.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, I did, and
So-
there's 2 viewers.
Oh, nice. We got
Yeah.
2 viewers. That's good.
So, I played the outfield since I was the fastest. I didn't want to play the outfield.
You were
but-
fast?
Yeah, back then, yeah. So I was the center fielder. Rich was in left, and then Jay was in right.
Jay.
Best West.
Oh, okay.
So we the two shortest people, and we hit home runs. And that's the last home run I hit was in my first year.
Yeah, that Henwick field was so tight.
Tiny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the
Shoebox.
right field is like,
Didn't have a big wall in center field too.
It started in the right center,
Center,
to
yeah.
the right field.
Yeah.
It's like only 250 feet, but the fence
Fences
went
went
up
up.
20 miles.
and you guys were using wood bats back then.
Oh,
yeah.
Never.
We had a BESR bed.
Whatever you had, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's great. I remember those days.
Yeah.
Jeez. So So Darren was the best player in the league, apparently. He
Right.
used to hit home runs, and he was fast, and he
Well,
played center field.
I ain't gonna say that.
But so then year one is over. How did you guys, or how did Steve know that he was ready to take on more and separate himself from Hegewisch? What was the draw? What happened after year
I
one?
guess he got a lot of calls to play baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think more teams.
Teams,
Yeah,
We ended up with 4, right?
Well, it was
Five.
five. It was five because we had to play double headers.
Yeah.
Every 3 weeks you had a double header that second year. 'Cause
Okay.
There was 5 teams. But we weren't playing Edwards anymore. We were strictly
Fishing
Bishop Knoll, Irving Park every Sunday. 10 and 1.
It's not bad.
And then from there, it blew up. I don't remember what year it was, but we had the biggest 30 and over NABA league in the country.
Really?
Yeah, that was like year 4 or 5, 6.
Really? How many teams was that?
What was it, 16?
We had 16.
16, 18 teams or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. We had a huge amount of teams.
So year one, 2 teams. Year two, we went up to 5 teams. What were the names of the 5 teams there? Who was
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm making you guys think. I told you guys to get ready for
The second
this.
year we went to
It
the
was
Cubs,
eight.
right?
Huh?
Yep.
Second
Second year went to the Cubs.
Yeah,
Yeah, we changed and went from the Red Sox
to the Cubs. It was A's, Cubs, White Sox,
Marlins.
Marlins,
And
Mets,
wasn't that the Diamondbacks? 'Cause isn't that the year the Linux?
yeah, Mets, Diamondbacks.
That's 6 teams.
No Mets.
There wasn't no Mets?
No. Because it was the Marlins and the Cubs for the World Series. And yeah, it wasn't the A's yet, it was the White Sox. The A's became the White Sox.
Yeah, okay.
The White Sox became the A's.
A's, yeah, 3. Okay.
And then the Diamondbacks and,
Was it the Twins?
no, that's too long ago.
No, I can't remember.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can remember the other 5 teams, let alone the names.
I knew the 5-10.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So 5 teams, you can't remember the names. Your mind doesn't really turn that far back because that was 20 years
Yeah,
ago.
4 or 5 teams, that's close enough.
Yeah, 20 years ago, so you guys started playing ball. So it was a 30 and over league back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you guys had to have younger guys because Gio, I think.
First 2 years. The first year they was young.
Yeah.
We didn't know nothing about it, but
No,
they were young.
I
You're sneaking people in.
Yeah.
But you have to, right? You kind of have to.
I just found out about Gio being underage
Yes.
the first year, like just a couple years ago. I'm like, what? He goes,
Yeah.
Steve said, he goes, we need the guys to play. If you want to play, I
Yeah,
need you.
yeah.
So,
So they
So
had
how old was Gio when he started playing?
young.
like mid-20s.
Yeah.
25.
So, story. I went to go see them play the Heckler's team in TUF South. And they playing older men, like in their 40s or 50s.
So we were playing the Lansing. Lansing had a league back then
Yes.
too, the old timers.
Yeah. So they was beating them so bad. And Miguel Hernandez. Mouse. They called him Mouse, but they asked him, the catcher asked him, how old are you? He gave his birthday. He said, I know, I knew it. I'm protesting. I'm protesting this game. I was like, why would you say that? You should have had that figured out
Yeah.
if you knew that, y'all beat them that bad. So they had to forfeit their game.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he had to tell his real age.
Yeah, he told his real age.
Still alive.
Still alive. And then that's, like I say, that's when Steve said,
He got on some.
yeah. That
Mr.
word
Nice
came
cigar,
out.
cigarette smoker that came
That word came out.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh man. So I'm gonna do this. We're gonna take about a 2-minute break. Go to commercial break here for 2 minutes, George. If you have a commercial, I don't think we do it. It's the first time, so we're gonna test the waters on that. I'm gonna have the guys refill their glasses, and we're gonna get into the rest of year 2, find out who the champions were, and then get into year 3 and 4, and continue down the road. Because it's really been really fun to get their take on how the league started. So we'll be back in a couple minutes.
all go. Give it to me, I wanna hear you scream, scream out my name. I wanna hear you scream, like I can't be replaced. I need to hear you scream, scream out my name. I need to hear you scream, like I can't be replaced. Can't take for granted where I've been. Went through hell and back again. Scars on my mind, the bruises and skin. I lean on you when times get tough. When they drag me down, you pick me up. So let it all go. Give it to me. I wanna hear you scream, scream out my name. I wanna hear you scream, like I can't be replaced. I wanna hear you scream, scream out my name. I need to hear you scream, like I can't be replaced. I need to hear you. So I've come to the conclusion, just a rotten piece of fruit. So I'll end up dying slowly, rotting away. See, I just want to be able to climb without a fall.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Ugly Finders podcast. Real quick, I noticed in talking to some folks, well, as we prepared for the podcast, naming the podcast, not a lot of folks knew what an ugly finder was, or what it represents. Do you guys know what ugly finder is?
No, I never.
Never heard of an ugly finder?
Probably old.
I didn't know about it until you said it, until you told me the other night. I was like, ugly finder.
So
Because when we were trying to put this together, me and George, we came up with mound visit. Because you guys did some research and found out there's 4 or 5 of them out already. It's called mound
we wanted to
visit.
be a little more original.
So
Yeah, so an ugly finder, by definition, in the baseball world, is a hard hit foul ball directly at somebody, right? So when you hit a foul ball and it goes towards somebody, and it's an ugly finder, right? You yell it out, whether it's the third base coach, first base coach, people in the dugout, people in the stands. It's an ugly finder. That's where it came from. And I've been using ugly finder term with our team, the Royals, since I came into the league. I've used it with my girls that travel softball. They find it hilarious to go out there, hit a foul ball, and yell at the coach. Ugly finder. It's just real fun. So pretty cool to know what it is, and hopefully everybody takes to that and starts using it out in the field when they hit a foul ball at one of their best friends. You can kind of joke with it. One last thing I want to plug and I want to say thank you to is to our sponsor today, 313 Tap Room here in Munster, located on Ridge Road, right next to the new train station that's going in here on the South Shore. So if you get a chance to come out and support my friend Tony and his beautiful establishment here at 313 Tap Room. And last but not least, if you get a chance, we have a new website. Go check it out, www.southshoreadultbaseball.com, where you'll find all of our podcasts, all of our live stream, all of our shopping opportunities. Right now we have a special going on with Baseballism. We have Homewood Wood Bats on there as well as one of our sponsors where we get our discounted woodies from. So take your time, go out, check out the website again, www.southshoreadultbaseball.com. TUF.com. All right, and we're back live with our friends Darian, Will, Ryan, and Rich talking about baseball from the aspect of the very beginning of Northwest Indiana NABLA, now the South Shore Adult Baseball League. So year 2 is where we left off in the 20-year saga that we're going to go through today. We're not going to go through all 20 years, but we're going to go through the important years, the formative years, the years where we grew and became and kind of took on an identity. So year 2, who won the championship year 2?
Marlins.
The Marlins.
Marlins beat the Cubs.
Darren, were you still on the Marlins that year, or did you get traded?
Yeah. I went to the other side. Yeah.
To the other side. The best player year 1, just kidding. He used to hit bombs. I can't believe Darren used to hit home runs, man. I haven't seen. I remember when he was fast.
It was 240 feet.
And you know what? What stuck out in that game? The catcher just kept irking me.
He was on you. Who was catching? Somebody from the Heglish League?
Yeah, somebody from Heglish League. He's like, you ain't gonna hit this ball. But I knew the guy that was pitching. Me and him usually talking. He had a brother, but I can't remember his name. But he had me 3-2. I said, he gonna throw me a fastball. Be outside. I just took it where it was pitched. And I couldn't remember. I just stood at home plate, just looking at it. I'm like, I see it. I'm looking for once it went over. And then the first baseman did like this. And I started jogging. I was like, oh my God, it's a home run. So I don't know if you remember this, Rich, but it was a guy in center field or left. He can't hit no home run. It went through the fence.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Holes in there. So,
And Heglish?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
and so when I got to home plate, he gonna want to. Now he want to talk to me. Like, oh, you hit that ball. I said, yeah. I said, I knew what he was gonna throw me. That's why I hit it. But it is what it is. But I was glad to hit that home, and that was my only home.
Only home run. Oh, man. Oh, man. So the Marlins won. That was your team. Were you managing back then? Or
No, I was smart enough to manage back then. That was Joe DiFiore was still the manager, year 2 of the Marlins. Yeah.
Year 2 of the Marlins. So off-season comes in. What was year 3? I mean, 5 teams to 20 teams? Was that the jump?
I think it was 8 or 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's still a great jump.
Yeah,
Those numbers are phenomenal when you think about it.
And consider we're, at that point now, we're competing for players with the HBL as well.
Oh, that's right. The HBL started right around. Actually, it started the same year.
I think it was the next year.
Yeah, they started building in 2003, and they started playing in 2004.
Okay.
I talked to a few because I was going to try to have some guys from the HBL here as well. So there really isn't many guys around that were started with the league back then that are still around playing. Year 2, year 3 is when I started to see guys that were, coming through the works that are still playing with either the Valparaiso Dodgers or the Chesterton Cubs. They're in those organizations. But yeah, there's only a handful of guys maybe over there. Not even, I don't think that were part. Maybe 2, I think they said, that played back then. Mike Adams is one name that rings a bell, and I couldn't remember the other name that Jason told me. But I've talked to Mike Adams before. But I want to say the name of the guy who founded that league was Bobby. I don't know the last name.
Right?
Bobby Wright. Yeah, that was the guy who started that league, and then it went the direction that it went in. And they had a successful run for quite a few years. And just for clarity and understanding of why we're the SSABL, because this brings a good point. SSABL kind of formed when the HBL and Northwest Indiana merged back in 2001. Right?
No, not 2001.
2002.
No, we didn't merge until
Just a couple years ago.
What year is 2000? This is 2024, so last year was 23.
But you're saying
we didn't merge
2002.
with them.
22.
22.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
the way there.
I was in the lower digits the whole day. We're talking 03,
That's
04.
too many beers for
That
the.
was 2022.
Yes, too many drinks already today. It's been a long day. I started at 8 o'clock this morning. No, 2022. Thanks for catching me. We kicked off and started the SSABL in 2022. And brought in their teams that they had over that. But Started competing with the HBL, but still were able to manage to get 8, 9 teams just here in Northwest Indiana, which most of the region, Lake County, I'm assuming is where you guys played all your games back then.
Yeah.
Was it still primarily all Highland or Hammond then, or did you start to spread out a little bit in 2003 with the number of games?
You said 2003?
2005, sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't we play in Hobart?
Or
was that later on?
That was later on.
That was later on, but
Calumet High School comes to mind.
Yeah,
outside
Calumet,
of first
yeah.
places aside from, we've always played at Irving Park, but
Bring that up.
Bishop Hall. Well,
that's where he hit his home run.
Yeah.
He hit his home run, yeah.
I knew this was gonna
Me and
happen.
Ryan talked about this once a year, so I was bring it up now.
What happened at Calumet High School that's bringing up some,
I don't want to go back down that
It's
road.
the mustache memory we got here.
I'm okay. with it.
Yeah.
Who gave up the home run to him?
Well,
I did.
Ryan,
Yeah.
Ryan was pitching for the Cubs and I was
Yeah.
for the Marlins.
He was winning that game
Let me
too.
make this.
Oh, yeah, we
if
were-
I come in to pitch, things have went terribly wrong.
Or you guys were up by 200 runs. Yeah, which you probably were. because our
Who was
team
winning?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did it go on Lake Ridge School?
I hit it on the roof.
Yeah, on the
From
roof.
the school.
Moonshot.
So I'm sitting at second base like, oh, shoot.
Yeah, I'm running my ass off. My team is telling me slow down. I walk. No, I didn't even know I hit. I put it on the roof of the
I said,
building.
bitch, don't hit home run.
No, yeah.
So Darian's one and only home run was in 03, 04, right?
04.
Mhm.
So your
At
first home
Hegwish.
run was 06? That's year 3 or
It
year
would have been year 4.
Year 4.
Year 4. And I've only hit one other since, that was in Hobart against the Phillies.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow,
It
you.
was,
No.
he brings it up every year.
No.
Yeah,
Well, it's a good spot to bring it up.
Once a year, that's
You know, we
it.
have
That's
that.
what
You got 6.
Once a year, we talk about it, and that's it, we drop.
Yeah, so when I see Rich in the pearly gates, he's gonna bring it up to me in
Yep.
heaven.
Yeah.
When you were with the Braves?
That's amazing. That's good. You guys are good friends now, though, because of it,
Oh,
right?
we went to high school together.
Yeah, we know each other since high school. The first game when he was on the Red Sox and I was on the Marlins, when we played the Red Sox, he was catching when I went to bat. I think I hit him in the neck, not hit him with the bat, I tapped him on the shin guard or whatever. I said, right? He goes, yeah. I'm like, Rich Hassel from yeah. I go, oh my goodness, I didn't know you were playing. I didn't know you were playing, so. Yeah.
Awesome. So let me count this. So 204, the league didn't have a champion. It was the Hagwish champion, whoever won that. But 05, we had the Marlins win it.
04 was a Hegwish team.
Yeah.
05,
05 was Marlins.
06,
06 was Marlins. 07 would have been Nationals, because that's when Oakley,
Yeah.
that's when Oakley
Oakley and
these guys broke away from the Marlins to form the
Yeah.
Nationals, and that was the first all-star team, ringer. I don't call it ringer team, but that team was stacked.
Yeah.
Top
Stacked
top
top
to bottom. Yeah.
And I think
Tommy
that's
Oakley put
when
together a hell of a team.
I think that's when I played with Oakley 1 year. And that was it. And I left.
you're done.
Yeah, because he came in latter of the season.
Mhm.
Because Donnie Ward brought him.
Mhm.
So
Yep, that would be when the Braves came in. Yeah, that's when the Nationals and Braves had yeah, their battles, and that's where I did actually hit 6 bombs. My only year in my whole life, ever. No, it was when the Braves came in. Was it 08, 07? 07, I believe. Yeah, right before the Braves became the Braves, we were a softball team. That fall was a softball team. No, second year. Second year.
No, I bring
It would have to be, it would have to be a home run game.
It's interesting that very first year when we had the two teams. I mean, obviously now you look at all the teams within this league, they got these flashy, uniforms, where everything is stitched, and,
We only had the two
yeah,
buttons.
and, that first year, Steve Carpenter ordered the uniforms for both teams. And it was just a pair of black pants with a drawstring on it, and a two-button T-shirt with a screen print on it, and these cheap little
I wish I
trucker
still
snapback
had that
hats.
jersey.
Nice snapback hats, huh?
And we had the sponsors too.
Yeah, and but like I
They had
said,
sponsors on your jersey?
yeah,
Nice.
now everything's all tackle twill, you got 6 different combinations of jerseys, but back then, it was straight out of youth league, is what we looked like that very first year. But by that second year, all the teams were on their own, to get their own uniforms from wherever.
Oh, nice. So that's your fondest memory?
It's one thing that sticks out there from that very first year to where we're at now. It's kind of crazy.
The looks, right? The Orioles looks, that were the modern Orioles?
Yeah.
We got a special guest that just arrived, guys, and he's been around since almost, 20 years now with the league, 18, 19 years with the league.
You can ask him because he was one of the 5.
What's that?
He was in the second year.
Second year. I had the original 5 planned for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He probably know what the other team is.
The 5 teams from the second year.
5 teams the second year. What were the teams, Mike? And this is Mike Bohenik, everybody. He's in the corner. You can't really see him. He's hiding right now.
Right.
Hand him the mic so they can hear him.
We got Marlins, how's it, Diamondbacks, Cubs, White Sox.
Yeah.
What's
What's the other one?
Damn it.
Was the Red Sox still there?
No.
Phillies?
Red Sox turned into the
Cubs.
Phillies.
No?
That's
No.
no.
Uh-uh.
No, it just came a few years later.
Was it?
Ron brought them in.
So remember the guy who was on our team? He
Yeah,
caught.
but
He
it's
caught.
hard to
He
hear.
only had 3 fingers. John.
Yes.
What team did he go on the next year?
Was it the Mets? You're talking about John Garcia.
Yeah, John Garcia.
He went with when Kelly Carroll and Jason Taylor came in from the White Sox
So what-
year 2.
So they went to the White Sox, and then
Garcia ended up going to the White Sox.
then he became the A's.
Yes,
Right.
in year 3.
All right, so that's not the team.
Yeah.
So that fifth team is still, if somebody knows, if there's anybody out there watching this
I'll
podcast,
go home for that.
it's a mystery team. We're trying to figure out the fifth team. But we do know the Marlins won year 2 and year 3. And we know the Nationals won year 4 and year 5. And then it went Braves, 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 Braves. Is that how it went?
No.
It was fun time.
I think the Blue Jays took over from.
Yeah.
Blue Jays, actually, the year I came in, that was the Nationals and
Orioles.
No.
Orioles played at the
no, it was the Nationals and
White Sox?
Mariners played in the championship because the Mariners beat the Orioles to go to the ship. And the Nationals won that game.
When the Braves played in the championship, they played against the Mariners, and the year before that was the Nationals against. Because the Nationals, they won.
Was
a
it the
couple times.
Dodgers?
It was the Dodgers.
Who was the Dodgers?
Dodgers was like Billy Nelson,
Oh, okay. That was
Physic, I think, was on there.
Nick
that Bizek.
Bizek.
That's Bizek's team.
Sickles, maybe?
I don't know if Sickles was on that team.
Yep.
I know.
12,
I brought Billy Nelson.
2008, 9.
I thought we were into the 8s and 9s.
That was the year I beat.
Because when you look at it, this is so first year 2004 was the first year we actually played. That was a Hagwish.
Called a home run.
Year 2 was 2005, which were the Marlins. 2006 Marlins. 2007 Nationals. 2008 Nationals. So then the 2009 year would have been.
Steve.
That could have been Braves.
That was Braves. I had to. 'Cause I
10,
came in.
11.
The Nationals might have won again.
Yeah.
After
Because the Braves went to HBL.
Yeah,
in
for that 1 year.
2012. No,
No,
2011.
right after we won the championship, we went straight to the HBL.
Oh, you guys only played one.
Yeah, 1 year.
One season, then they went to the HBO.
Ah.
And the Angels over in the HBO, it was like a beer league pickup team. I didn't know anybody. Every week, though, we played was somebody different. And
And
then
HBL had some good teams, and they had some. It's just like the league here. We always had some top tier teams, and then we had some lower tier teams.
Mike's team, I don't remember the guy's name. It was some long-haired, blonde-head kid running the team.
So, remember Mike Hatch?
Mm-hmm.
So he died too.
my
He
gosh.
ran the
Red Sox.
Red Sox.
It'd be really interesting. Well, not to be somber about everything, but it'd be good to kind of get an RIP wall going. Just 'cause we lost a lot of guys in this league, from what I'm finding out. I mean, like I said, I haven't been around the league, but this is my 13th year, 12th year in the league, and I didn't know anybody leading up until when I came into the role that I'm in now. I didn't start to know folks, 5 years ago when I took over for Lennon. And I'm starting to get to know a lot more people and starting to hear some stories and really find value in the past, right? We have to know where we come from in order to continue on and continue growing for the future. So it'd be really, really interesting to put something like that together. I know other leagues. So we got 10 minutes left. I want to get into Ryan's memories. What was your fondest memory of the league back then?
I found, well, I'd have to say, I don't know. I don't chase championships anymore, so I like moments. And,
Right,
probably
right.
my, this is home run. I thought,
Look at that! Yeah, but, so you're saying that was a gift?
No, that wasn't a gift. Trust me, I didn't offer it, but, it was fun to see him be excited,
Yeah, it was a moonshot.
It was a
16.
moonshot. It was a good hit. I can, respect that it was a pretty good home run.
Awesome.
And,
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
What a friendship there. See, that's what the league's about, right? The friendships, the growth that we've had together, and the camaraderie that we built over, the years of playing together. Darren, what was your fondest memory in the league? What's one of your special moments? Back then.
Back then?
Yeah, let's go from the beginning, because we have another podcast where we talk about 2009 and beyond.
Okay.
And
Without a doubt, it's got to be his Hegewisch home run because I hear about it all the time.
Home run, and the two smallest guys on the team was me and Jay, and we both hit home runs in that year. But my fondest memory is at Bishop Knoll. I think we was playing against you all to go to the championship, 2004.
I wasn't pitching again, was
No.
I?
I don't know who was pitching. All I know was that a ball got hit in center field, but it was slicing away from me. I was like, oh man, I gotta go get this one. Went to Gat, and all I know, we started throwing our gloves up, went to the infield, and so it was a ritual with me and Joe. After the game, we always sit in the dugout for about 2 hours and talk about the game. And that's what I do now. I sit around and talk about the game, what happened, stuff like we laugh about it and joke about it on the Orioles. Like I said, when y'all come, y'all gonna have fun too. But that's my fondest memory. And to keep this going for Steve, he built this league, and to see it grow, I'm very proud of it.
What's your fondest memory with Steve?
I like just hanging around with him.
Smoke some cigarettes?
Late nights in the garage.
No, I didn't smoke then, but it's just that he was loving. He cared about you. He'll sit down and talk. He'll joke with you, but he'll get on you. But he's still your friend.
How about your guys' fondest memories with Steve?
Late nights in the garage after meetings.
Just talk to him. Like he was just a real nice guy. There's no other way to put it.
Was he a ball player?
Yeah.
Plays second base, just like me.
Yep. He could hit a little. I mean, for as old as he was when we started the league, he could hit a little. He could feel a little.
How old was he when he started the league?
I'd say the summer recent is
50s,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay. I didn't know how. Like I said, my relationship with Steve is purely through you guys. That's why I don't
He
know
started
anything
this
about
league with his own money.
Really. Well, I'm glad he started it. That's for sure. It's allowed me to build some bonds, allowed us to fill some voids in our life for sure. Baseball's been a big part of my life since I was little, and I'm sure it's the same with you guys. Baseball's kind of keeps us going, right? With that said, we're running out of time. We scheduled this for 1 hour. I don't want to take up too much time, but it's been fun. For the first podcast, I think it went pretty well. Got some viewership, right, George? We got 2 or 3 people watching at one time. It was awesome. They were probably laughing at us and making fun of us at the same time. We'll be doing this again. I'll probably set up another one right before the season starts, kind of recap 2010 on, and kind of bring us to current before we start our 2024 season, which will be our 21st season of playing adult baseball here in the region or the South Shore area. Outside of that, I will let you guys go in peace. I've enjoyed the time. I've enjoyed the banter, the conversation. And I look forward to seeing you guys again soon, really soon.
Thanks for having us.
What's the sign-off? We got to have a sign-off, right?
Yeah.
All right, Ugly Finders out.
All right.